Hi guys, Konstantin here from CGC, and today we're gonna unbox a pump which is pretty much iconic by this stage. It's a pump I've used in numerous of my builds, and I'm keep on using it. There's a new build I'm doing at the moment for a workstation grade PC, and obviously I'm water cooling it because EK is the way. And I've just decided to do an unboxing of a EK Quantum Kinetic combo pump and reservoir combination. So this is pretty much the most popular product that EK sells. It's the Quantum series. It doesn't really matter if it's Quantum or not. The name is just a bit of styling that you get in marketing and stuff. But this is the pretty much the most famous product EK sells. Is the DD5 pump that's in here. D5 pump that's in here. These are the famous EK pumps that you see being used in pretty much all their water loops, and they're famous because they're really good. Now, I don't think they're manufactured by them or they're manufactured according to a patent, but yeah, pretty much it's the best. If you're going to get a pump for your build, the D5 pump from EK are the best pumps. They come in various sizes, so they come in pump reservoir combos. These are the most popular ones that I've seen purchased and that I've used as well, because you get your pump res in one bit. Now you can also buy the pump and the reservoir separate. You can also buy them in distro plates, or you can also buy them, and there's like a pump reservoir distro combo thing that they sell for SFF build, which is like small form factor build. It's like a cube. It's got a pump and a small reservoir in there. But anyways, those are niche products. This is what I'm talking about. This is the basic component and the most important component in a water loop, which is the pump. That's why my recommendation is you can skimp on the radiators. You can find second-hand radiators because they're very static components. If they don't have much usage, you can buy them used as well. They will work just fine as long as you do a quick test to make sure there's not holes in them or anything like that. So pretty much a radiators, there's like a ton of other options out there. It doesn't have to be EK radiators are really good. I've just bought the latest series as well, which I'm going to do an unboxing shortly. But if you can buy any other radiator you want, a cheap or expensive one. That's my dog. He wants to play. Hugo, behave a bit. But my personal recommendation is, if you want a water loop that will last you for years and you don't have to replace for years, buy a D5 pump and get the EK ones as well. They're really good. I've used at least a dozen of them so far. None of them have failed. I've got systems that run on a 24/7 basis with water loops in them with EK pumps, and I've had no issues so far. They are just sturdy. They're like a German tank. It will go on and on. Now, enough advertisement for which I'm not being paid. This pump. I bought this pump with my own money and for my own build, but I've just decided to share it with the community as well. I'm sure you've seen it dozens of times, but I just want to do my version of the unboxing of the EK pump. Without further ado, like Jay's 2 cents, let's carry on and let's see what's inside. You'll be surprised or not. Unboxing is easy. Now, for those who don't know, EK is a European manufacturer. They're made in Slovenia. It's a really good, reputable brand. They're featured at all the shows. They continuously innovate. But most of the times their products just have they either come up with some new products or they just stylize the old ones a bit. They put some RGB in there and stuff, and that's pretty much it. But these EKD5 pumps, they've been like this since day one. Obviously without RGB or anything like that. They used to be a bit simpler. I'm gonna open it towards the camera. Right, so in the box you've got a nice cardboard. First thing you see is the goodies pack. So that's caps. They're really, let me just show it to you. They've started putting these keys in there, which are quite which cost a couple of pounds or euros. These are quite useful for tapping and untapping these taps on EKs, on EK pumps and EK reservoirs. They're really useful. In this case, this one has a standard flathead. I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't matter. You will have other taps with this Allen key like thing. So this is like an Allen key 90-degree adapter. You have to be careful not to over tighten with these, because this is plastic and this is very breakable. I've broken like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, you just go for them like, you know, consumables like socks. The other bits is just your regular screws and a metal tube that goes inside to prevent water bubbling too much, I believe. Now, the pump is well wrapped. It comes wrapped within a sponge-like thing. This is it, guys. This is what you get. EK's logo. First unboxing. I'm opening this for the first time. It's quite heavy, so just so you know, it weighs about 200-300 grams. Right, so this is the pump itself. This is what I use the Allen key for these tabs on the top. Now you've got 3 of them. You normally use 2. Now I've seen a lot of builds, so let's first go for it. So the pump is very well packaged. You've got a small reservoir here, which, to be honest, this is the average size for a reservoir. You don't really need bigger. You can do it smaller. There's one that's pretty much half this size. You can do it the one that's smaller. It doesn't make much of a difference. You get more liquid in there, and it has a higher inertia of heating, but that's just some thermophysics shit. Doesn't thermodynamic shit that doesn't make much of a difference. But in terms of reservoir, I think this is the average size, and I'm very happy with this. I've always used pretty much this size, unless I'm doing like a monster build where you can buy the huge reservoir as well. You can actually customize this, so you can, if you buy a different reservoir of a different size, you can just replace it. In here there's the EK logo, which you can replace as well with just a bit of sponge and other bits that you can put in there, like a coil, a silver coil to prevent corrosion if you've got multiple types of metals in your build, like copper, nickel, and blah blah blah. But nowadays, if you buy a premixed liquid, so don't just get pure water, just get a premixed liquid like Mayhem's. I've got one lying around. I can't show it to you right now. It's not next to me. It's gonna take me a while to bring it. But just Google Mayhem's. I'm gonna put a picture in the description. Mayhem's premixed liquid. It minimizes the issues of corrosion, because you don't just need pure water in there. You need some inhibitors in the water as well, and make sure that they don't corrode your installation over time. Now, in terms of connectors, this pump comes with a ARGB connector from EK, standard one. This is the RGB thing. It has the Kinetic logo here because it's Quantum Kinetic, I believe the name is. Right, this RGB fan, I'm not going to use it, but it just pretty much lights this white ring around the pump in whatever color you want. It's compatible with most of the RGB software out there. Be aware, I've heard on some back channels that the next Windows release, it might be this year, I'm pretty sure it's this year. The next Windows update, there's going to be a Windows update at some point this year that will have RGB controlling software, and will pretty much unify all the manufacturers with all their devices under one roof. So you don't need a Corsair IQ, Asus Armory, I don't know, Fantastic Dragon from MSI, or whatever from Gigabyte. I don't know, there's a billion software out there. You won't need that anymore. Windows is going to do that for you, which is fantastic, because RGB controlling software is a PC owner's nightmare, because they're all over the place. As I said, a nightmare for every PC owner is the RGB controlling software, because obviously you've got your EK pumps, you probably have some Corsair stuff in there, you might get some, I don't know, G-Skill RAM, you might get Asus card or something like that. So they all come together. They all come with their software their software for RGB. Some of them are included, so like this EK doesn't come with their own software bit, but it said on the box. So it's got a DRGB connector. If I said RGB, ARGB, I'm sorry. It's got a DRGB connector, and it's compatible with. It doesn't say on the box, but I believe it's compatible with Asus definitely. So at least Asus is compatible with them. But as I said, don't worry, Windows will fix that for us. Hopefully, it should work. Second connector is the PWM fan controller. Now you connect this one so you can control the RPM of the pump. The pump usually sits between 4,500 to 4,700 RPMs at maximum. If you don't connect this controller to your motherboard, you can't connect the pump. It runs at maximum speed all the time. If you do want to connect it, if you do want to use it, you can connect this PWM controller. But the pump, in terms of power, so the pump does not take power for here. It's just pulse width modulation controller of the fan's RPM. The pump actually takes power through a SATA connector, which is this one here. So this SATA connector here is used to power the pump. And that's it pretty much in terms of wiring. Now, this is the cheaper model. There are a bit more expensive ones as well, which come with sleeved cables. This one just has open cables. Again, I'm not really interested in sleeves or open cables for my build, my current build. It's going to be a server build. But just so you know, you can buy them, the more expensive models with sleeved cables. This one is unsleeved. Now, there's one thing that I want to show you guys is, now, this pump has an inlet. Let me just get some of the wiring away. Tell you what, let me just get all this stuff away from it. Right, this pump has two inlets, which are clearly labeled. So one is inlet and one is outlet. So one is where water should go in, one is water should go out. Now I've seen a lot of people building their PCs, building the water loops that sort of like, you know, they're probably building their water loops for the first time. What they do is they terminate the loop by connecting the top of the should I call it hose? I'm going to call it hose. The top of the hose, so the return of the water loop, which is a hose, they connect it on top of the pump itself. Now, it's not, how should I say this? It's not prohibited, but it doesn't make sense. Now, these connectors here are specifically, these inlets and outlets here, so this inlet and outlet here, are specifically designed for the in and out of the loop. This is designed for filling, and that's it pretty much. So if you want to top up your liquid, just open one of these tabs here and top it up. I would not use these things right here to connect a water loop, to finish connecting a water loop. It just doesn't look well. Because think about it, because if you want to open this, you can't, because your hose is connected to it. So you can't open this up and do stuff with it, because your hose will be connected to it as well. It becomes really difficult when you connect it here. I don't know why people do this, to be honest. I can understand why, because it's a smaller loop. Instead of reaching all the way down here, you reach it up here and you finalize the loop. But I would recommend against doing it. It's not practical. I would only use these three ports right here for filling up. I don't know why they made three, to be honest. You could only go away with one. But only use these three for topping up the liquid, and use this one here, this outlet and inlet here, for finalizing your loop. The other thing I wanted to discuss about is connecting it. So the pump, as you've seen, the pump comes with screws, so you can directly attach it behind on a case. So just, you know, do for it comes with a let me just show you. It comes with a pre-drawn sort of like model that you can put on your case and just drill the holes in these 4 places. And once you drill the holes in, you can then attach the pump directly to your case. But what I normally do is I just buy an adapter, and I'm going to show it to you in a short video once I get it. I don't have it next to me. So there's an adapter for, depending on what fan size you've got. If you've got 140 mil or 120 mil, so that's like a little rack that fits on top of the fan, and you can put the pump on it like this. So you'll have your radiator. Imagine having your radiator here. You can put that rack on top of your radiator and just put the pump here vertically. And once more, one more thing I've noticed is people tend to put this horizontally as well for some reason, which I can't yet understand. Now, this pump is a submerged pump. So a submerged pump is built to run when it's submerged. If you don't run it when it's submerged, you might have issues with it and it will burn out because it spins too fast. It doesn't have any resistance to it. The water is the pump's resistance. Now, I've seen builds that literally mount these type of pumps like this. The only thing is you need to make sure that if you're mounting the pump like this, you need to make sure that the pump is 100% fully submerged. If it's not fully submerged, it won't work at 100% of its capacity. It will just have a little bit of water. It will have a little bit of air where the pump is, because obviously the water will be somewhere around here. It's not going to be 100% full. To get this one mounted vertically, horizontally, 100% full, it's a very difficult task to do. I've tried it once and it was an error. So I've learned by my mistakes. I'm never going to mount this type of pump. I'm never going to mount this type of pump horizontally. I'm always going to mount it vertically, if that makes any sense. My camera just died, so I'm going to carry on and do the film on my phone. Right, so that's one more thing I wanted to discuss. In terms of fitting it, as I said, you can fit it directly to your case, or you can fit it on a stand. You can buy it. It's on EK's website or on any other seller that sells these pumps. You can find the stand as well. It's an extra 5-8 pounds, but it's very, very useful because it allows you to attach it to a radiator. It allows you to attach it to a fan, which is attached to a radiator. So most of the builds people do, they've got vertical radiators, they've got the fans on top of the radiators, and you can just put that support there and put the pump like this. And obviously you've got outlets and inlets here. This one is for releasing water, we're releasing the liquid, because it's water premixed with bits and bobs. So this is for either a ball stop. So it's like a little I don't have one with me to show you. It's like a little tap, to be honest. You turn it on and on, and if you want to drain the installation, or what EK have done, they've done like movable ball stops as well. So it's like a little EK fitting, and you pull it out and it releases the water. It opens the valve and releases the water on the outside, and you pull it back on and it blocks itself. So there's no more tap. It's just a little flexible stub like this from EK. I forgot the naming. I'm going to put a picture here in the video itself. I'm going to put a picture and show it to you guys. It's really, really good. It is a bit expensive. It's about 17 pounds, but it's really useful because you do want to drain this installation. And if you don't build a drain in the initial phase of building a water loop, if you don't do a drain, you will struggle getting the liquid out. I know it because I've done it, and I do it sometimes if I'm too lazy and I do a quick build, a quick water loop build, and I forget to buy a stop valve, or I forget to buy one of those little drain valves thing that I've talked about from any other manufacturer. It's a pain to get the liquid out. You have to cut one of the tubes, the hoses, you have to cut it and drain it, and you have to incline the build such that the water has a way to drain towards the ground and stuff, and it's a pain. So my recommendation is spend the extra money and get a ball tap and fit it here. Usually this is the place. This is why this is here, to be honest, because it's at the bottom of the reservoir. Now at the bottom of the reservoir, all the water is going to drain through from this. You do have to apply some extra pressure in there, so pretty much open up one of the fittings and blow into the hose, and water will come out. Right, that's the last thing I wanted to tell you guys. So always when you buy a pump and you buy your fittings, don't forget to buy a valve as well, which comes here. So this is for the valve on this side here. So you got your inlet, you got your valve, and you've got your top up tabs. That's how I would use this one. This is what I recommend. You can go creative, as I said. If you want to finalize your loop here, there's nothing stopping you, but it's not practical. It's not practical. I wouldn't do it. And I've been building water loops for like years now, and I've been using this pump, which I strongly recommend for most of my builds. As I said, D5 pumps comparative to DDC pumps, you can control them much better, and they've got a better performance. They've got higher static pressures, so they pretty much they can do more complex installations as well. And it's in terms of loudness, you can hear it. It's not inaudible. If you turn the RPMs down, so if you connect the PWM fan to your motherboard, if you turn the RPMs down to, I don't recommend running this pump below 2000, but if you turn it between 2 and 3000, you can't hear it anymore. It's really silent and stuff like that. So if you got like a silent build, run it at 2500, and if your loop is not massive, if you've got like a radiator, most of builds have like one radiator and a loop. If you got one radiator, even one radiator, let's say 2500 RPMs is good. If you got two radiators, just keep it around 3000 RPMs. You do need that because you do need the water to move through with a decent speed. You don't need the water to stick around too much in the radiator, because the convection process is not great if the water just sticks around there for a longer period of time, right? It won't stick any other way. So the water won't stay in the red. It will move because the pump keeps on continuously moving the water, but it's better if it moves faster, if that makes any sense. And I did notice that if the pump RPM speed is faster, the cooling efficiency is increased. Now, I didn't measure it, but it's increased by a couple percentages, I would say. But it doesn't matter anyways. Right, so this is it, guys. In terms of fitting the pump, I can also add that there's some screw holes. There's some screw holes here as well, which you can tighten after you've put the pump in and you're happy with its position, because in its pump housing thing, which is rubber because it needs to attenuate the vibration. Right now you can move it left and right until you find the perfect position based on how your build is run as well. Once you have it in a perfect position, just tighten it here, and that's it. You're golden. You're good to go. And that's it, guys. This is a really good product from EK. Really good. I recommend it.